What's up, Sooner Nation? We're back, as always, because that's what we do here on the Sooner Surge Double Trouble, nightly, 9:30. And guess what? You're back, as always, too. Appreciate it so much, everyone that's on here. Uh, there is some things to talk about tonight, Jay. I think there's some things to maybe rehash, some things to bring up. It's almost the weekend. Got the big old ice storm, according to the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Tuttle, coming in
He's not.
sometime.
Wait. Don't hype it up more than he did. He said he didn't say big old ice storm. He said could be a little travel issue Sunday morning or Monday morning. That's it.
Yeah.
So don't overdo it. Uh, OKC have any Lamborghini dealerships? I'm sure they do.
He's saying that because
I know why he's
not
saying
landing
it.
guys in the
What
portal.
about Bobby's? Did you see what Bobby said there about the
What's
A&M guy, Walter Nolan?
What about him?
Basically, if you're going to A&M, read your contract thoroughly. If you got questions, just trying to help. There you go.
Okay.
Sooner fan says we are getting left in the transfer portal dust.
I mean, Texas is killing it.
Fact, fiction.
Fact. What is OMG, Bucks? What do you mean by that?
What's up, Bucks? How are you?
Jay, Texas is killing the portal.
Texas is having a great portal season. Ole Miss is having a great portal season.
Okay, Bucks. I'm in agreement in some way. If you've and I don't know if you've watched our shows, every night at 9:30 we talk portal all the time. But I said the last couple of days that there are some guys that I think BV is happy with the defense they have and all the guys that got coming back. Obviously, they should have went after some defensive tackles would have been a position they need. But I'm done sugarcoating it. There's a lot of guys, especially on the offensive line, they missed out on.
But can you say this, though? Can you say that it's a fact that OU's getting left behind, getting left in the dust on the transfer portal, but it also might be what he's saying is BV's happy with what he's got. They may not be getting anybody, but maybe they're fine with it. I don't know.
At some point, you still, when we're talking 5-star guys, you can't tell me that the coaching staff doesn't want 5 stars.
Jeremy, you're the one that says it depends on their character and every culture and everything.
I agree, but Jay, they went after Zalance Hurd. They went after him.
They did. He hasn't committed anywhere yet.
It's going to be Tennessee. I think OU's fine with what they got on defense according to the staff. That's what they would say. But offensive line, they've tried to go after 2 or 3 guys.
They're still, Jeremy, any chance they go after Caden Proctor? Any chance?
Well, they should have at least offered him and said they want him.
Any chance they go after Brailsford, who's the center that's visiting Alabama this weekend, I believe, from Washington. You also have a couple other offensive linemen from Washington in the portal. Any chance on any of those guys?
I was curious how many of the Washington guys were just going to go to Bama, but it doesn't look like they're all going there.
Well, do you think Alabama wants all of them?
DeBoer mighty coached them, Jay. And look,
they went out and got a Wisconsin assistant coach today for safeties coach. I'm not a fan of the staff he's put together. I don't want to get into it again tonight. Really don't. But
I don't either. And look, on the defensive side, OU's loaded. Outside of defensive tackle, I think they have what they need across the board. But the offensive line could have been improved.
Yeah, but look, I agree with that. And Thunder OU says, let me get to this comment. Other fan bases think OU is broke since OU can't get anybody through the transfer portal. But here's what I'll say to that. I think when Brent Venables was hired, he pretty much said he will get guys out of the portal, but he doesn't want that to be his all for thing. Like go for that and that's it. And that's why I think you've seen them be very good and very high in the rankings in high school recruiting, but not as good as in the portal. Because I think that's what Brent Venables believes in. Get needs in the portal, but don't go after everybody in the portal. I think that's the difference in Brent Venables and some of the other coaches. I think he's more high school recruiting based to develop. He said it over and over again. Development. And I will say this though: some things about the portal. Some of these guys that enter have 3 years left. You can develop them.
And Bobby Wiley, first, let me shout out Bobby Wiley, a recent addition to the Sooner Surge Unlimited crew. Would love for everyone on here to do that. Appreciate those that have. Bobby has. Yeah. Hatchet. There's 2 Hatchet. They're brothers. One's Landon. One is Guerin. Guerin, I think, is how you pronounce it.
Bobby,
Listen,
where did you hear he had a visit?
Yeah, where did you hear he's got a visit? But here's what I know. Landon Hatchet is the younger brother. Bill Beatenbow does follow him on Twitter recently that I saw. That's all I know.
Yeah, and let's talk about the O-line haul from the portal.
Okay.
Spencer Brown, Michael Tarquin, and Fabechi. What do you grade them out as for the portal gets?
I think it's a B+.
I mean,
said he saw it on Drum. I don't follow OU insiders.
I agree with
I
Hunter.
think
Fabechi's probably the best one of the 3.
I agree. Fabechi's the best one. I think Spencer Brown's upside is phenomenal.
But I will say this: I think they're really happy with what they got coming in. That's the thing.
They are, Jay. They have an outstanding class coming in.
I mean,
if you're saying upside, Spencer Brown's got the biggest upside of the portal guys. I think Tarquin is just Okay, but that's just my opinion.
Could Tarquin end up being like McCade a little bit, or no? Any chance being that good?
Personally, I don't think so. But
go watch him when he played. Go watch him when he played guard and not tackle.
Yeah, and I agree with Hunter. It's a flip of the coin, and Bill Beatenbow may do wonders there. You're right. But all 2 of the 3 have a legit shot at starting. So if that's the case, they got 2 starters out of the portal. It's not a horrible portal class.
Yeah,
and I agree, Jay Jones. He doesn't want bag first guys. I agree. So is Texas getting bag first guys?
Hey, listen, none of this matters. If Brent Venables goes out next year and OU goes 10-2 or 9-3, I don't think many people will be talking about the portal offseason.
They won't be. And Deion Burks is underrated out of the portal. And maybe Woolard is too. I don't know about Woolard. I think he
could be okay. He could be a rotational guy for sure.
A rotational guy. Deion Burks is a starter.
Eddie Pierre will start, Buck says. Do you believe?
I think he's got a chance to start, but to say he's going to start is kind of outlandish since he's a late enrollee.
I agree with this, David. Let's talk about who we got. And Jeremy, let's just go through each portal guy and you grade them out of what you think for OU as far as need and talent and how they'll do next year. What grade you give them?
Okay.
To me, Deion Burks is probably the highest rated one. Correct?
Yeah, A.
A.
Before you go to the next one, best athlete in the room. I probably agree with you, Bucks H. And by the way, if you're new to the video YouTube channel, appreciate you being on here.
I thought he was talking about me and you.
No, best athlete in the room as far as the O-line room. I can get on board with Eddie Pierre-Louis. I don't know, though, because I think they got 2 or 3 really good athletes, but he's not going to be here till June. To say he will start is kind of outlandish. Will he have a chance? Possibly, but Caden Green took 4 games to start.
Well, that's because Bill Beatenbow typically doesn't go with the –
That's my point.
Typically. I mean, it might change because these guys are highly recruited. I love Daniel Antakumi. I think Daniel Antakumi is going to be unreal.
What was funny? Maybe because you said in the room. I don't know.
I think that's why. There's Selwyn. How are you tonight, Selwyn? Yeah, Brooks could very well start too. Eugene Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very talented.
I think Daniel Antakumi has the biggest upside of that group.
Yeah, he's a hard worker. How about what David Stone's doing in the Polynesian, man? He's going to play. He's going to play.
And Autry. There's other guys. Hey, Bucks. I'm going to disagree a little here. Look, if you've never watched this, I am not a sunshine pumper. I'm very critical. I'm very critical of OU. Okay? I don't know that I can agree that the O-line is thin. It's inexperienced. Wait.
I think that's what he's saying.
It's inexperienced, but they had numbers. It's not like they're depleted.
I think what he's saying is thin because they've never played. They don't have anybody that's really played, Jeremy. Name one guy on this offensive line that's played, other than Sexton, who played a little bit.
I said inexperienced, Jay.
They don't have any experience, and that's the big concern. And listen, if you look at last year, how long it took them to get 5 guys, they got to go into day one. They got to figure it out in the offseason, and they got to go into game 1 with their 5 and roll and get as much experience on those guys as possible.
Have to, yeah. Dow Post is right. No chemistry on the O-line. Hunter did drop the Sooner Surge Unlimited member. You click the button. It's very simple, and you can join the Discord. I know Adam joined it, the Discord. We can chat throughout the day with some stuff. If 9-3 is OU ceiling, I agree. If 9-3 is OU ceilings, there's problems.
Who says that's a ceiling? I think 8-4 is the floor.
I agree. 8-4 is the floor. 7-5 is, as they said in Top Gun, danger zone.
Yeah,
it's a high. 7-5 is a highway to the danger zone. I promise.
But Jeremy, look at their schedule's brutal compared to a lot of the other. I mean, it's brutal.
They have top 3 toughest schedule in
America.
In the country.
America.
Absolutely.
What about this comment by Jay?
I think OU's 9-3 next year.
What do you think about this by Jay? Did that accelerate his time? He had a great O-line those few years, though. I mean, but listen, you got to kind of almost, I don't want to say you want to throw him in the toilet, but you got to kind of throw the Lincoln Riley years with Benny Wiley. You kind of got to give him a pass there, because he was trying to work with what Benny Wiley was supplying on the off. I mean, you heard the stories when Schmidt came in. Some of these guys couldn't bench whatever it was. I mean, they couldn't do it. It was just they weren't very strong. So
I agree.
To me, this year is very important for Bill Bedenbaugh. Very important.
It is. Ricky, I can get on board with you on that. I think OU has to make the playoff in 24 or 25. If they could sneak in next year, which I think is a strong possibility if you go 9-3, but then 25 is the year for the Natty title run.
Yeah, 9-3 does get you in the playoffs. I think next year.
I think 9-3 is pretty much a lot.
Though, how many 10-2 teams there are in the SEC?
There's not going to be many, Jay.
Well,
Texas, it's going to be like the Big 12 in basketball. There's going to be beating people up.
Is Texas going to be better than 9-3?
Texas will be 9-3 or better.
Georgia.
Yes.
Ole Miss.
I have to look so much about their schedule. I need to look at their schedule a little more.
Here, 405 boy again said you're speaking in existence.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think maybe because you're being negative. Don't know.
Negative?
And Mark,
I was being positive.
Let's get to Mark's point.
Time out. What do you mean negative, Jay? What are you talking about?
Time's not running, bro. It's not a game.
What do you mean negative? I'm being positive.
Hey, Mark, you think all these seniors on defense ain't going to make a difference? Name a school that has that. 101,000,000% agree with you. And listen, if this defense this year is not massively better,
it's problems.
To me, that's more of a concern than OU going 7-5, is that the defense isn't very good next year. If the defense doesn't make big strides, you got to question things, because you got Zach Alley coming in to help. You got Brent Venables. You got all these guys coming back with experience. It should be really, really good defense.
Hey, I also don't think that losing late affects you like it did in the years past. It's 12-team playoff. It's not a 2-team race. 4-team race.
Tyree, welcome to the show. Appreciate you joining. 10-2, he's calling it, baby.
Hey, I would like to pull prisoner AJ twice and said no All-American. Danny Stutzman can be an All-American.
Billy Bowman can be an All-American.
Billy Bowman can be an All-American. That's 2 on the defensive side.
What about this? Last year, Nick Anderson was a freshman All-American. Is he good enough to be an All-American wide receiver?
I don't know, but there's Chad Gamble. Let me just say
Chad,
about.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Chad, first off,
unlimited member.
Appreciate the generosity. Really do. It's really appreciate it. Appreciate you being on there every night, Chad Gamble. And you took the leap of faith and joined the Sooner Surge Unlimited. If you have not joined the Discord, join the Discord server where we can chat throughout the day. But appreciate it so much. Hey, Jay, I would like to pull up maybe some of these other schedules. Ron Wood said that there's going to be a lot of 10-2. I actually don't see a lot of 10-2. I see 1 or 2 10-2s, a couple of 9-3s.
I think probably if you had to give a percentage, hey Kim, how are you tonight? 9-3 would be the majority of people would say that over 10-2, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. And we haven't talked about the offense.
What is the main concern on offense? Is it offensive line? Is that obvious?
Absolutely, it's offensive line
I
because they
think it's
haven't
two
had.
things. I'm gonna. You're probably gonna rip me for this, but I think
I
it's
am. I
two
know what
things.
you're going to say, but
You
go
know what I'm
ahead.
gonna say? It's two things. It's offensive line, and I think Jackson Arnold's out of this world. But you cannot say basically as a freshman going to the SEC that he's not going to have some struggles.
Everyone's going to have growing pains. It depends on how big their growing pains are. I don't look
But
for them to be
what I'm
that big.
saying is in the SEC they're going to be magnified compared to what you would be in the Big 12. Correct? And there it is.
It
Blake
depends
says
on the week,
O-line and
Jay.
ball security.
It
That's it.
depends on the week, though.
No, it doesn't. Jeremy, listen.
Yeah, if you were playing Vanderbilt, it wouldn't matter.
Jeremy.
Jason.
You do this every year when you talk about other teams like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia. You say they got a new quarterback. It's going to be tough for them. Every year you say that. So now why is with Jackson Arnold is it not okay to say that?
It's okay. First off, it is fine to say it.
No, it's because I know you're so high on Jackson Arnold that he can. But there is still some
Can I talk a second about Jackson Arnold?
All right.
First real game he played. I forget the exact.
I don't want to talk about this past season. I'm talking about the next season.
Let me talk because I'm going to talk to Chad Gamble's point. If Jackson Arnold had the line that Dylan Gabriel had in that bowl game, it'd have been unbelievable the numbers he would have put up. He ran for his life in that game and still played a heck of a game. That's my point. I think the O-line is more important than the ball security. I don't think you have the ball security issues with the time.
I'm not saying you do, but he's going to be playing some very good defenses, and you can't expect him not to have any struggles. That's ridiculous.
I didn't. When did I say he's not going to have any struggles?
Well, it kind of feels like you think he's just going to cakewalk through the season. I just don't see it happening.
Obviously, you're just assuming that's what I think. And
maybe it was selective hearing. I don't know, but
it's not hearing at all, bud.
And Ron says that he does take chances, so he will have more turnovers.
I'm glad he does take chances.
I like a guy that takes chances too. I'm just saying.
If you go look at the picks he threw, it was a bad read on one. The other ones he was late on, new to the offense, and one with a fumble, he just got lit up because the line was so bad. I don't care.
But I know he's due for a ton of yards. There was so many good things he did in that game, but there was also, I think giving him a whole spring, running all the first half, it's going to help. I just would be, to me, if he comes out and just dominates and doesn't have any turnovers, I will be shocked, just because the schedule they have and him being a new quarterback. Now he can do it because he's that guy. He's a 5-star. But dude, 5-stars struggle in their first year too. So
Tatum's probably not playing next year much, if any. He's going to be in late. He's coming off an injury. He could easily maybe get to a backup, but I don't think. And for people on here to say Tatum is okay and not great, I'm sorry.
I don't understand.
I don't know what you've watched in high school.
He's the number one running back in a lot of things.
And even if you don't want to say he's number one, let's say he's the third best running back in the nation. He's still elite. For people to be criticizing before he's on campus is absurd.
What are they basing on? What have they seen from him? I don't get it. Kim, I agree with Kim's comment here because I think even him throwing the interception turnovers, that helped. It helped him for next year. It did. So,
Ricky, I absolutely think Xavier Robinson has a very good chance to play some downs, and here's one.
Not unless he's H-back.
That's what I was getting ready to say. 2-back set. He could play as a fullback.
He'll play special teams too.
If he's really good at pass protection, he'll play quicker than expected.
Does David
Gavin Sawchuk made strides in pass protection. I will say that.
Hey, Hunter, you can drop this in here for Sooner fan. Hey, Jeremy, does David Stone or Jaden Jackson start by third week?
A lot of it depends on Grayson Halton and the progress he's made, but I think one of those guys are going to play half.
I don't see how you're going to keep David Stone off the field.
Selwyn, Sooner Surge Unlimited member as well. I would love to see Hicks get a chance.
I would too. Where did
Hey,
Judkins end up going? Did he commit yet?
I don't even know if he did. He had
I
to have by now.
I haven't heard if he committed.
Hey,
Texas got a
Jay,
great tight end tonight.
yeah, Texas did. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
They had a great one last year. I know you beat them. Hey, let me ask you this, and I would like to see some of these other schedules because I don't think there's going to be tons of 10-2 teams.
I think there'll be a good handful of it. Judkins went to Ohio State. Did he confirm that that's a commit? Because I know he was leaning that way, but I've been traveling.
Ohio State got Bill O'Brien. What happened to Brian Hartline?
What did you think about Bill O'Brien, OC?
It's something where Day doesn't have to call the plays.
But still, that guy?
I don't know, Jay. I don't really care about it, but I do want to know some of these schedules because Texas plays Georgia for sure. They play OU and they play Bama, right?
Yes.
So there's 3.
I think so. I have to look at their schedule, but
they might. Do they play Ole Miss? I don't know Ole Miss's schedule.
I've seen a couple people say that Tatum's vision, and if you watch any of his highlights, that's the first thing that stood out to me too, Jason, and whoever else said it. His vision is uncanny. I mean, it's really good. Reminds me of a lot of. I know this. I'm not going to compare him as a running back, but his vision, Emmitt Smith's vision, was outstanding. And I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. When I see vision, and that's what I think of. I think his vision is unbelievable.
Vision is better when you have Nate Newton and Larry Allen over there. Hey,
that's true.
Adam George, shout out to Adam George for becoming a Center Search Unlimited last night and joined the Discord. Talking a little softball earlier today with you. Appreciate you joining the Discord. And you're right. Ohio State, guys, people are talking about all these other teams. Ohio State's got everyone back except for Harrison.
Yeah, but do you know who their problem is? Will Howard is their quarterback.
I agree, Jay. I agree.
Jeremy, I am not sold on Will Howard to do anything. I'm not. I don't know how that's the best they could get out of the portal. You can talk about OU in the portal, that's fine. But the fact that they lost McCord and they went and got Will Howard as a quarterback, I would be questioning things right there. I don't see him being a game-changing quarterback.
Does Georgia has a tough schedule.
Yeah, I think they play. Do they play Oregon non-con?
Pretty sure
they have a tough they play somebody tough in the non-con. Yeah, it's definitely.
We don't know what's going to happen schedule-wise, but
definitely
you don't know that they're going to go 10-2, Hunter. You don't know that. Sure, you may think they are.
Who's he saying 10-2?
Georgia will go 10-2 or better. They might, but if they do, then Texas might not.
That's it. They play Clemson. That's it. It's Clemson. That's who they play.
But if Georgia goes 10-2, then Texas might not because they play each other.
Let's go to this one here. How do y'all see OU baseball, and how do you expect them to do this season? They should be better than last year. Hunter knows all about baseball. They should be better than last year.
They should be much improved from last year, though.
What about James Nesta from OU football throwing some bullpen today? He's going to play baseball. He can play. How's him and Tatum going to balance that? They're both two-sport athletes. How are they going to balance that? That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah, and look, Michigan did win with an okay quarterback. That's a fact.
Yeah, they do get a. Mark says, "I'm willing to say we're going to be in the playoff team. I think it's time. As time goes on, they should be better. But here's
if OU's not at least top 15, there's problems.
Top 12 this year, 2 losses got you in the top 12, guaranteed this year. 3, you were almost there. 3, you were right on the cusp.
That's right. This year it would have, yes.
Hey, I'll say this, Copenhagen.
We got to talk about the
UCF
thing.
I don't even want to get to the text. I don't even want to get to this crap. But their coach, let me say something about the basketball team real quick. Does an interim coach that gets the job ever work out? Name one. They hired Rodney Terry last year. It's not working out. And this thing that they're whining about, there's other teams that have stuff done to them or whatever, and they don't whine about it. I don't get it. I don't get the whole whininess over this. I think it's silly. But and they shouldn't be whining about it. They've been better. They made the playoff last year. And guys, as much we're all OU fans on there except a few Texas fans, Texas is going to be in the playoff next year. I don't think there's any question about it, right?
You can't say that
don't
automatically.
Shake your head at me. Don't go,
You don't know next year.
Jeremy, would they be one of the top favorites to make the playoff at least?
Yeah, they're going to be a favorite, Jay. Twin yours may go down early.
I'm not saying, but you got to admit that they have a good chance to make the playoff, right? Look what they've done.
Georgia goes to Bama, opens up with Clemson, plays Texas. Appreciate you, Jimmy Knight. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate that a lot.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Texas is losing key players, but they're getting a whole lot.
Well, they lost a lot, but they got them back. I mean, they got good players back, and they're still getting them. And here's the deal: what you don't know is how they're going to do in Texas system. You don't know that. But
Archie
you got to
Manning's
admit that
going to be the backup.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if they're not a top 12 team next year.
Yeah. Hey, let's
really real.
Let's get really real here.
Yeah. I love the 2D.
Let's just go through the 2D. So across the defensive line, and this is and while we're talking here, hit the like, please.
Yeah, that helps a ton.
Across the line, you got 8 guys, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, in the middle, you're going to have DeJoun Terry and Lacey and Halton and Stone. Let's say you got those 4. That's not even counting Jackson. On the edges, you got Adebore, R. Mason Thomas, Ethan Downs, and probably Caden Woolard.
You got Trace Ford too. Trace Ford.
No, not
you do deep. Have him.
Not on the 2 deep, you don't.
You don't think he's 2 deep?
I just named 4 guys that are better than Trace Ford.
How is Danny Okoye now on the 2 deep?
I haven't even got to that yet. I know, Jay. They're loaded. That's just then you got the Cheetah. You got Deshaun McCullough. Maybe Harrington comes back. Dolby plays.
Harrington should be back.
Who's your 2 backup safeties? You got, let's say you go with Bowman and Bowen. You also have RSJ. And who's that next safety spot? Guy from Clemson.
Well, yes. I don't know. I mean,
they're loaded on the defense.
I don't know if I'd go. I don't know if it's going to be that guy or if it's. I mean, who knows, man? Jaden Rowe may come back and be great. I don't know.
Not Clemson. San Diego State is the guy, man. But
he's not going to play safety. He's more of a corner, in my opinion.
He's DB. I don't know why he's at Clemson because you guys were talking Clemson earlier. I'm going to – and first, Tanya. Sorry, I clicked off that. Tanya, every single night, clockwork. Awesome. You're amazing. Appreciate you. Bob, how was PJ not impressive? He had 1.5 sacks, which is 1.5 more than Bothroyd and Ford combined.
Hey, Jimmy, great question. Here's what I'll say. If OU goes 9-3, I think that's a good year with the schedule they have. 10-2 would be great. And I think it's all going to depend on who they lose to, guys. And I say that because every year they lose to a team they should not lose to once or twice. And that's what you can maybe get away with that in the Big 12. Next year, if you're in the Big 12, you could still win the Big 12. You're not getting away with that in the SEC. You go lose to, I dare I say it, but somebody like South Carolina at home or something. Who knows? Davis Bell may be a quarterback against you. I don't know. You can't lose games that you should win, though, in the SEC. Can't.
Yeah, and Mark, I want to believe that Gentry can be an All-American. I don't see it yet. Maybe a year from now. Obviously, the health is an issue.
And real quick,
Med says 11-1, and I think that's a little bit.
Real quick, before I get to trivia, I want to say this. A lot of people on here talking about portal, and I've been bashing about not getting some of the big guys out of the portal too. But let's not forget what some of these teams are getting in the portal, they had to get because they lost. OU had 3 guys come back that were going to the NFL, okay? Woody was lower draft pick probably, but you have Danny and Billy Bowman. They were going to be good draft picks, and they're coming back. And they were both on the cusp of getting awards last year, at least making the finals. So you got a lot coming back on the defense. Offense, I think, is very talented, but I think they're young in spots still. And the inexperience is more than young, I think. And specifically the O-line, very inexperienced. Tight end, very inexperienced. Name one tight end on this team next year that's taken a snap at OU.
None, and they're all better than Austin Stogner.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you
That's
do
what
have
I'm saying.
inexperience.
That's what I'm saying.
Unproven. Maybe that's the word.
Unproven and every bit better than Austin Stogner. Much higher ceiling.
I cannot. Listen, I know a lot of Sooner fans love Shane Beamer. The last year or two, he's kind of gotten under my skin a little bit. I'm just going to say it. And, yeah, I'm sure OU will be ready for that game. And we'll see if South Carolina – hey, Shane Beamer, South Carolina hasn't been SEC ready the last 2 years, I promise you. So
no, and I wanted to go back to Mez's point because Mez brought up about the teams that – all these teams that lost coaches. And I agree with you. There's been a lot of shift in those teams. OU did lose both coordinators.
Hey.
Now, I think it's better for OU, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think the offense is we'll find out if it's better than Levy.
Hey,
but OU's defense should be better with Zach Alley.
Ricky, Beamer did say that. I can't remember if it was right after he left or something. Maybe it was when he had a recruit in town. He said something the sort of not ready for it. After trivia, I want to get back to the portal and how many guys we think OU needs to get out of the portal the rest of the way, either O-line or whatever. I want to get back to that. But let me go trivia first.
Wait, before you do trivia, make sure there's two things I really want to get to. Jesse Browning has a great point. We can talk about the RPO. Okay. And then someone said, did you see that Arizona lost 9 guys in 30 minutes?
Yes.
That must have been tonight.
That was earlier this afternoon. Pete Nakos, I think, put that out. Okay. Yeah.
So
OU should throw massive amounts at Caden Proctor and Caleb Downs.
Hey, they won't.
We'll see. Yeah. Hey, so here's trivia for the night. NFL playoffs are going on. This is a pretty easy question. You may have to think about it, but it's pretty easy if you're an OU fan and you follow OU at all. I just want to know how many former OU players are still left in the playoffs, still playing this weekend. How many are left? First one to get the correct answer gets the point for the night. You see the standings there below. Is Fafita in the portal? Adam says he is.
I had not heard it, but I haven't been home at all
not
today.
7, not 6.
I haven't been around anything today because I've been Suns basketball
5,
game.
Not 4. I haven't seen it yet, Hunter. Help me out.
Hey, you know what I would say to Shane Beamer? You know what I would tell Shane Beamer?
What?
You weren't ready for the SEC, bud. He was.
That's what I already said. Bob got it, I believe. Bob's the first one, 8. Let me go off them for you. You got 4 for Kansas City. You got Creed Humphrey, James Winchester, Blake Bell, Wanya Morris. You got 2 for the Niners, Braden Willis, Trent Williams. You got Baker Mayfield, obviously, and then Mark Andrews. So 8 left. That's pretty good amount.
Hey, more or less RPO with
Good job, Bob.
What's more or less RPO with Jackson Arnold?
Less.
Is it because you don't want him to run much?
He can run, but I see him more of a rollout guy and running and making plays with his feet more than I see a read option guy. I think he's drop him back to pass, man. He's got a cannon of an arm.
Hey, I do want to see him run a little. You can't.
Let's talk about this. Let's get back to the portal.
I know people said they saw it on Drum. I haven't been on there. Here's what I know. Last night, I went to bed. I'm laying in bed. We're on the Sooner Surge chat, texting like we always do, way too late. But I did see that Landon Hatchett last night had entered the portal. I didn't even know he really was a brother. Both Hatchett brothers played for Washington. I look at his follows, and, of course, Bill Beatenbow is one of his follows. Now, that was Landon Hatchett. It sounds like the guy that may be visiting, though, is the Garen Hatchett.
That's what it sounds like from somebody put in here. So if that's the case, and I believe seeing some stuff on Twitter tonight that OU is pretty high on him the first time around out of high school. So you would think it's a guy they could land. Right?
You would think. Jay, Landon Hatchett, the brother played a little center also.
Yeah, let me ask you this. How many do they need in the portal from offensive line? Do they need 1 more? Do they need 2 more? Do they not need?
They don't need 2 more.
How many do they need?
They could do one more.
What position?
I mean, I think if we're talking 5-star, I don't care where he plays. But
I
center
agree
is
with
there.
Jay. I agree with Jay.
I know you are, Jay, but I still think that a guard would probably be their best option who can play maybe a little center too, be a backup.
Hey, and I meant to read Kim's point back there about you. I think she put you can't, but I think she meant you can. You can ruin the culture in the locker room by overpaying for somebody that's never played it down, and you have guys sweating their butts off getting. But I will say this: OU pays everybody pretty well, so that's the one. That's the one misnomer about Oklahoma, and the myth is they're broken NIL. That's not true. They just they pay a lot of the players. So,
Adam, I think, and I've had this argument with Jay. We don't need to argue it again. I am so high on Josh Bates, but Sooner fan, I'm confused here. You don't think OU's ever going to land anyone? They've got some dudes out of the portal. They have.
I see what he's saying. When you see a guy enter the portal from one of the big time schools, I think what he's saying is his confidence level right now for OU getting any of those guys is pretty slim to none. Is that fair?
Yeah, but honestly, this Washington one almost seems like it's more of an opportunity.
But this
mainly because OU was in on it before.
The Washington guys, the center from Washington, Parker Brailsfield or whatever his name is, he's visiting Alabama this weekend. He's probably going to go to Alabama. I think what Sooner fans saying is the big time guys, he doesn't feel like OU's getting. I think that's what he's saying. I may be wrong, Sooner fan. If I'm wrong, sorry. But I think that's what
I agree. I agree a little with that. I do think Deion Burks was big time.
What's up? Hey, Bradley, Sooner Surge Unlimited member in the Discord, chatting up with him. Yes, I saw that. They landed a defensive back. How about Lane Kiffin just rolling in there yesterday, with putting all over Twitter that he was in Tuscaloosa? He's probably pissed he didn't get the job. Don't you think?
Did it? I thought you said he turned it down, Jay.
I never said that. Why don't put words in my mouth?
Oh, I thought you said Lanning, Sark, and Kiffin turned it down.
I never said that.
Oh.
Never said that.
Yeah. Someone else mentioned it on here, Selwyn. Owen Hollenbeck is massive.
Yeah, and hey, did you see the stuff? I can't remember the guy's name that put it out about how Bill Beatenbow in Oklahoma for the 25 class of offensive linemen are high on a bunch of guys list. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'm a little bit worried about Fasusi. I'm a little bit worried about him.
Two things here. I'm worried about Fasusi too.
He is right guard.
Go back, Jay.
Be right guard.
Go back to that. Jeez.
Sorry, man.
You're clicking a button when I'm trying to read something. Got to go find it again.
Which one was it?
This one. No. Bobby, I have never said Bates is too small for the SEC. I think you're thinking of Everett.
Everett's too small.
We said Everett was too small. Yeah, I am high on Bates. Jason, I disagree with you. Burks may be their best receiver this year.
Okay, but listen, I think what Jason's saying is
he wanted Farouk another year.
Jeremy, I think what Jason's saying is if you looked at needs in the offseason, wide receiver wasn't on the list. They didn't really need another one. Yeah, he's a great player and he's going to fit in great, but it's not a need. In the offseason, you didn't say, man, need another receiver. Did you?
Not necessarily.
In fact, I believe when he committed, you're like, dang, I'm surprised he's coming here with all the talent they got there.
Yeah, until Farouk showed up in the bowl game. So,
dude, I'm just saying, I think that's what he's saying is there were other needs maybe. Now, they went out and got a great player. You can't fault them for that.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree that it wasn't a need. But if that's the case, they didn't need an edge guy either. They didn't need safety.
Okay, let's go to Chief's question. TVs. Let's go to Chief's question. And we've talked about this earlier in the chat tonight when somebody else said very thin O-line. Hunter, can you drop in there how many they have on scholarship? It's more than you think, Chief T-Bird. I'll say that. It's more than you think.
And that's why I was disagreeing with the thinness.
People are forgetting about Heath Azida, Logan Holland.
Jake Taylor.
Jacob Sexton. I mean, we could go on and on. You got Everett. Ricky said 14. I think Hunter's going to count it up real quick.
Hey,
I'm thinking off the top of my head, it's 13 to 15. I don't know how many, but
I was leaning toward 13, but I don't know. But Jay, it's not thin, I promise you.
it's thin for experience.
It's thin in experience.
I think ideally as a coach, you want 3 deep. You want 15, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's what they would shoot for is 15, 3 deep on each one.
Yeah.
Some guys
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I think OU's having next year. Okay? Because you're in the SEC, you're playing against big-time nose guards, big-time defensive linemen. Let's say you start Bates, and he is your guy, because I think he is. With what they have on the team, he's the best one to go with. If he gets injured at all, that throws Troy Everett in there. Okay? They are not deep at center. They need a center.
I bet you could play center a little bit.
Jeremy, he's better at guard, though.
I'm not saying he's not, Jay.
They need another center. That they could use a center on the portal for depth.
Yeah, Jaquez Petaway and Brennan Thompson. Look, I got roasted the other day, Tyree, when I said Brennan Thompson can be an elite receiver. I got roasted for it. Brennan Thompson absolutely can be elite. I think he will be next year.
Hey, Hunter, that's a good point about Brooks. I think Brooks is a center. I think Brooks could be a really good center. So that's a good one. Yeah. In fact, I would probably play Brooks over Everett, to be honest with you. I know he's rookie, but freshman. But I just think Everett, maybe Everett surprises us, puts on some weight and muscle, and he's just not very big.
Hey,
for center, but
no one, Mark, and I agree with you, Mark. This defense is stacked, full-blooded, loaded, and full-blood ammunition, whatever you want to say. It's stacked up to the ceiling with talent, with experience. There's no question. Offense, outside of the O-line, it's really, really good. It is the O-line. There's a whole lot of pressure on that unit to figure some things out. Hunter's going to drop it in or how many they have, but there's enough guys there to get the job done.
13 to 14 depends on if transfers are scholarship or PWOs. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm surprised on the Bill O'Brien. Somebody put it in there. I'm surprised. Chief
He doesn't do much. He doesn't do much for me.
Who?
Bill O'Brien, as far as excitement, if I'm watching.
Well, why would they do that to Hartline? Wasn't he the OC or co-OC last year?
Jay, I texted Drew to figure out the Ohio State guy, and he hasn't responded yet. But yeah, what is happening with Brian Hartline? He can't, and if he leaves, they may lose a lot of receivers.
They already lost a lot. I mean, I don't get it. They got rid of Bill O'Brien. Alabama did, and went and got Tommy Rees. And Tommy Rees isn't even that good. They went and got Tommy Rees. They didn't want Bill O'Brien.
Yes. Jay.
It's past his prime, dude. Past his prime. You know what bothers me?
I don't think they fired Hartline, Ricky. I think he's still there.
Do you know what bothers me?
Someone look it up, but I'm pretty sure they didn't fire him.
Hey, it bothers me when certain coaches who haven't been good in 10 years because of their name and what they've done in the previous 15 years, they keep getting jobs and all these big-time jobs. It's like Bill O'Brien hasn't been a great coordinator in a while.
There's Heather. Heather, I texted Drew earlier. Heather, find out what's happening because I didn't see where they fired him either. Brian Hartline is there, but not anything except a wide receiver coach. Which is shocking. Why would he stay around? Oh,
what
Heather.
Comparison. Bill O'Brien.
Heather, I probably have my phone on Do Not Disturb now because on this. Sorry.
What?
Drew texted me, but I think my phone was on Do Not Disturb earlier. But hey. I can't believe he took a just wide receiver position. That's it. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I don't get it. He's their lead recruiter on offense, though.
Oh, absolutely. Best recruiter they got.
Yep. 100%. Hunter says he don't think he chose it, but
then how long is he going to stay there?
Well, it's his alma mater, dude. But Josh Heupel left OU too, so I mean, it can happen.
There's only 2 men who could call jet sweep. That's correct.
That's right. He loves his school, man.
Heather, you're right. Ryan Day was calling the plays.
So, but that tells me they don't think Hartline can do it. He's not ready.
Right. That seems like a little bit of a shove to the face.
Maybe they got him training under Bill O'Brien to then move up. I don't know.
I think he'd be better than Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, and you don't know that. Calling plays is a big-time deal, dude.
I don't know that, Jay. I said I think he would be.
Defensive analyst for Oklahoma. What do you think? Jimbo Fisher, would you like it?
Absolutely not. I don't want Jimbo Fisher anywhere near Oklahoma's program.
The reason I bring that up is with Matt Wells leaving, don't they have an analyst job open?
They do, and they'll bring some coach in. Jay, I can't believe that, too. That is unreal about Jerry Glanville, dude, 82-year-old.
82. That dude can coach, but why is he still coaching? I mean,
I agree.
Trivia question right here. Trivia question. Jerry Glanville, what was the name of his offense in Atlanta?
I think I know what it was.
If anybody gets this, you get another point for trivia. That's a great point, Sports Metric guy. It's outdated, period.
Jerry Glanville is not dead. But do you remember that great receiver?
It might have been Houston before Atlanta, but run and shoot. There it is.
Run and gun.
I thought it was run and shoot.
Remember Andre Bad Moon Rising?
I'd have to look it up, verify it. Maybe run and gun. I thought it was run and shoot. But
remember Andre Rising, dude?
Hey, we'll look it up and give you a point if you're right. Andre Rising, yeah. I mean, Bad Moon Rising, baby.
Oh, that's what I said, Jay. The red gun. Heather says the red gun.
I don't remember red gun. I thought it was run and shoot.
Warren Moon's who started the run and shoot, right?
Houston run and shoot, Matt says.
Yeah.
I thought it was called something different.
How good was Warren Moon with Webster Slaughter and those other guys he had at receiver there?
Yeah.
The Oilers were so good. Oh, wow, Brian. Exactly. Yeah, you got passed over the 8 and under team, went to the 10 and under. Portal's happening everywhere, guys, not just college football.
Little league, baby, Pee Wee football.
Chief T-Bird asked.
We're going to look at it. We'll look at it afterwards.
Haywood Jeffries was another guy they had there.
Yeah, we'll look at it afterwards. See who got it.
There was 3 of them. It was Webster Slaughter, Haywood Jeffries, and there was
Curtis Gibbons.
I think it was Curtis Gibbons, yeah.
Curtis Gibbons. Hey.
Curtis Gibbons.
I'm considering not being a Dallas Cowboy fan after them rehiring Mike McCarthy. I'm about ready to quit.
It's unreal. It's expected, Jay. It's expected. We don't need to get on that tangent tonight. We're at 48 minutes. But
all right, so people are saying there's a visit happening. Maybe OU lands one offensive lineman. They got about a week and a half, I think, till they have to be in school. They can do the late period, so they say. Ernest Gibbons. I said Curtis Gibbons.
Curtis Gibbons, yeah.
So maybe they land another portal offensive lineman. I think that would be great if they could land one more at least for depth. I think it would help.
Hey, we're twin brothers. We're identical twins. Jason's 6 minutes older and acts like it.
That's right. Like they said the other night, I'm your daddy because you act like a baby sometimes.
Hey, here's what we're going to say before we get off here again. And look, super big thanks tonight to some people. Yeah. First, everyone for being on here again. Thanks so much.
Great chat tonight. Great chat.
Hunter's going to drop it in here again. Sooner Surge Unlimited member. Once you become one of the Unlimited members, you can then enter the Discord, join up on the Discord. We can chat throughout the day in the group. Different. We have football, softball, baseball, basketball servers on there. Chat during games, whatever you want to do. But appreciate those that have been joining lately. It doesn't take much, and it helps us out a lot. But I also want to say that very much thanks to Chad Gamble tonight for the
big time
super. That's big time, Chad. For Tanya every night.
Appreciate it every night, Tanya. Thank you.
And all those that are going to become Sooner Surge members.
Hey,
Someone asked a
wait.
serious question here.
Yeah, and what I want to say is I think this is a great question. Hunter, if you can remember this, maybe pin it so we know it. Let's start tomorrow's show with this. And I think it's an outstanding point. It's a great question. And not just NIL, but transfer portal, what it's done to high school recruiting, big time. And
Well,
we need to
I'm
try
a
to
high
get
school.
Brian Bedford on again. Brian Bedford joined us before, and he told us this was coming.
Hey, as a high school coach and the new rule they put in place in Oklahoma, the transfer stuff is really ramping up. But you're right, Jay. Let's do some research and see maybe how NIL has affected the high school program.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it back.
And I cannot stand Stephen A. Smith. Listen, I'll tell you this. I have tried to get Stephen A. to come. I want him to come on so bad. You know, we had Paul Feinbaum on, last year. He's going to come on with us again. I would love for him to say, come on, Stephen, come on.
You better not, because I might lose my mind.
You may lose your ever-loving mind of Stephen.
I might lose my mind on Stephen A.
It is affecting softball big time too, Adam says. And Adam knows firsthand with that, right? I mean, he's got one going to college. So
I saw this. 9 years.
I saw this today too.
Get out of the game. Like,
why? What's so bad about that?
It's taking opportunities away. And someone mentioned earlier the JUCO. JUCO's non-existent. It's kind of sad.
It's different nowadays, isn't it?
Guys got to go to JUCO to get their grades, and they get lost in the mix.
Who was the receiver that was in the recruiting class last year that ended up going to JUCO? From OU, Brown. Gosh, Hunter would know this. Highly recruited guy went to JUCO. What's his name? Hunter, drop it in there. You know who I'm talking about. I know you do. Big time recruiting. What? Keon Brown.
Great.
Yes.
Academic.
I wonder where he's going to end up, but yeah.
Probably nowhere, Jay.
He'll end up somewhere, but it's different these days. But appreciate
we'll start with that next week. Sorry, not next week. Tomorrow night. I'd love Skip Bayless to be on here, but we will start with that tomorrow. We'll talk a little JUCO maybe as well and see the effects of that. But thank you guys as always, and gals for being on here. You're the real deal. Appreciate you. Till tomorrow night. Boomer.
Sooner.